Boston.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm from Boston. I'm from Massachusetts. I left there 5 years ago now.
in Texas.
Lucky you.
Anyways, bring your jacket, Elizabeth, because you're always cold.
I'm always cold. If it's below 70, y'all, I am cold. All right, we are live. I mean, I've been in Texas too long. Okay, good morning. Happy Friday. Any big wins, any big things that y'all want to share before we jump into our awesome agenda for today? I know you guys have some wins.
I can. I'm really excited. I just started with a new investor about 6 weeks ago, and last night he gave me my third listing. The first two are already under contract.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Congratulations.
You showed your value quickly to him. So that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it. Who else?
I have a potential win to share. We'll find out.
What is it?
There's an EXP agent that has been hosting an open house of mine literally during the week from like 8 to 4, almost every day. And weekends, I mean, nonstop, just determined. We pulled the property off the market. The last open house, she has a buyer that's submitting an offer today.
Love that. Love that for you, but love that for her too, because
I mean, that's what I told her. I want her to win. That's commitment.
that's commitment. Well, and huge congrats to you too, Brian. It's you just, what was it, yesterday hit a year at EXP?
1 year, and I got up at 5:45 this morning. I'm getting in an Uber now. I'm going to the Dallas Regional Rally.
Oh, good for you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Copeland came over a year ago from a company that was a 90-10 split. He capped in a month. He iconed in 3. And in a year, what, you have 86 in your organization?
Yes, ma'am.
That's huge. So congratulations to you.
Congratulations, Brian.
So awesome. I
Thank
love
you.
seeing our wins. I'm super excited today. I mean, I'm always excited to see y'all, but you know, for y'all that have been with me for years, I've always talked about people that were inspirational and influential in my business. As a brand new baby agent, never gave up on me in Georgia, Texas, no matter where I went. There's people in your lives that just, they're your people and they just believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself, right? So Brad Feiman is one of those people. There were 2 that were very, very influential in my life. Brad was one of those. He was my team leader at Keller Williams, Atlanta, Georgia. And you'll know my story a little bit, that I got in the business because I had to, not because I wanted to. And so I went a little bit kicking and screaming into the business, and I met Brad, and you know, the rest is history. So Brad has been my team leader, and he's in Atlanta, Georgia. He's been a team leader, or he was with KW for years and years and years. One of his passions is just really teaching and coaching and building all of the agents up. He has the heart of a teacher. And so he is going to teach us all today on business planning for 2024. And I'm super excited that you're not only still in my world, but you're with us at the company now, and that you're in our tribe. So Brad, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years, especially as we walk into our week of gratitude. You are near and dear to me, you and Arden, you know that. And so I'm incredibly grateful. But I'm excited for you to share, and so they can get a glimpse of what I've had over the last 18 years. So I'm going to give you, do you need sharing capabilities?
No, I'm just going to talk mostly.
Cool.
And this is me. It's a little bit different format. We all tune in to listen to Elizabeth and the tribe meeting. So it's a group of people at the table, but this is me in the front here. If you can see me waving my hand. So thank you, Elizabeth. True story. So the amazing Elizabeth Riley, who just was voted most influential person in the entire company, actually walked into real estate in my office in Atlanta in 2005. Her and Wes had just been transferred to Atlanta. Wes was with Dell, and she walked in and said, "I have my license. Can I put my license here?" And it was obvious quickly that she was the prototype. Elizabeth was smart, fun, Obvious quickly, she had a huge servant heart, had a great work ethic. And we just did business very similar, and we became quick friends and always stayed friends. First year she made my agent leadership council and made over 100,000. So that's the start of a career where it turns into something that Elizabeth is now, being the most influential person in all of EXP. So Elizabeth, this morning, I am going to hand you the keys to a BMW. And the only instruction I'm going to give you is to drive for 3 days. That's the only instruction. What are the odds when I call you in 3 days that when I call you, you are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin? The
Slim
odds,
to none.
exactly. And that is the issue with people with their goal setting and business planning, in that there's no roadmap, there's no planning, and most of the time they don't achieve because of that. You've seen it all the time. A New Year's resolution is a great example. You know, I'm a swimmer, so if I go into the pool January 2nd, where I go, where I always had a lane at 8 in the morning, all of a sudden it's not swimmable. There are so many people there that have made a New Year's resolution to lose weight, and by Friday the pool's back to normal. So it's obvious that all these people in less than 5 days have not reached their goals for that year, and obviously have failed in their goals already in 5 days. So what we're trying to do, the purpose of business planning and goal setting, is actually going through a process, a real process that allows you to achieve your goals. That's what we're trying to do. I'm gonna give you a little background on me. I've been in the business 35 years, got in 1988. I was a Remaxer to start with, 13 years. Sold a house my first week, sold a house my second week, sold a big house my fourth week. All my cash flow concerns were behind me. Full-time assistant by my second year, 100% referral business by my third year. My business totally predicated on giving top service, plain and simple. I outserved agents during the deal. We outserved agents after the deal. People reused me, people referred me. I love real estate. It has never been a day of work to me in my entire life. I love houses. I like buildings. I like land. I've built houses. I've renovated houses. I like designing. I like decorating. I love the people part of the business, the relational part of the business. Love the deal. Love the deal. So it's always just, it's been fun to me. It's never been work. So I became a team leader, Remaxer 13 years, moved over to Keller, 21 years there, 16 as a team leader. That's pretty odd. The life expectancy of that job is 2 years. I was a team leader 16 years. I like teaching, coaching, mentoring people. That's why that happened. And one office I was at 7 years. We went from regional rank 49 to 2 in probably 3 years. So a good turnaround there. The second one I was at 9 years. Same thing. We probably went in the 40s up to maybe 3 or 4 as a high. 3 years in, profits were up 1,000%. That's not an exaggeration. They were up 1,000% in 3 years. So how did that happen? One major reason is that I got with most of my agents and we business planned this time of year and we goal set this time of year, because I believe that 70% of you achieving your goals and hitting your goals for next year, 70% of that can be achieved if you go through this process correctly. So we did that with most every agent. I wish we could do it here on the call. We can't do that just because it's probably a 45-minute to an hour process of me actually doing the goal setting and the business planning with an agent. But we can definitely, there's a ton of stuff that I can give you what's going on during those meetings. So, very important process in those offices turning around. So, what happens in this meeting? Basically, an agent's going to come in. They've already, and I believe this needs to happen October, November. Okay, this meeting. Why is that? Why do we meet in October for January and not at the end of December? In my opinion, this is almost a 3-month process to do this correctly. So, first, what we do is go through what you did last year, like what your goals were as far as your commission goals, your number of deal goals, and your volume goals. Did you hit those? Did you not? And then we begin to talk about the next year, what you want to do. I would say for every 10 agents that I meet with, 6 I'm going to, so it turns out that it's almost like being in a courtroom when you're meeting with me. You're an attorney and you are actually defending your goals for next year. So you are telling me what you did last year, what you want to do next year. And obviously, most people want to do more in the following year. So if you're saying that, which most people do, you can't just say that. You have to tell me why. You have to tell me the things you're going to do different in the upcoming year. And most of those involve lead gen that's going to increase your business to the level you want to achieve. And when I hear those, I'm weighing what you're saying and the possibility, knowing the agent, their skill level. 6 out of 10, I'm probably going to agree. I'm going to agree with their goals. 2, I'm probably going to raise, knowing them. And, you know, Elizabeth, I think you can do better than that with what you're telling me and what you're going to start next year. I think you could do more. And 2, I'm going to lower. I mean, this is a lot of achieving goals is actually is being real with yourself and with your business and your current life. I think most people don't hit their goals. So many people, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, or I don't think most people realize what they have to give up to achieve goals, plain and simple. So we need to talk through them. Same thing with real estate. If you say you're going to go from a GCI 250 to 400, that's a big step, actually. I mean, to go up that percentage is a big step. We really need to think through, how are you going to do that? What are you doing different to achieve those goals? And what are you giving up? What are you going to give up to give you that time, or usually it's time to achieve them? So it's a very detailed talk where at the end we agree on what you've talked about. I think it all depends on realism. So again, you're defending what you want to do for next year. And most people I'm going to ask, how serious are you with these goals you've given me? Because most people, and another question would be, how big a disaster is it if you don't hit your goals next year? Okay, because those are significant in the ability to hit your goals. So the most extreme way I can describe it is, I would maybe say, Elizabeth, you have been wrongly accused of murder. I'm the judge in your courtroom. I'm going to give you 1 year to sell residential real estate in the amount, let's just say you walked in and say your goal this year is to make $1 million, okay? $1 million in commission. Elizabeth, I'm gonna give you 1 year to sell real estate that brings you $1 million in commission. If you achieve that, Elizabeth, you will walk free. You will be murder charges dropped. If not, you're going to the firing squad. Okay, that's the most extreme example I can think of as a goal, or that would push you. So if that was the case, Elizabeth, and you had 1 year to sell $1 million in real estate, or you go in front of the firing squad, everything that comes your way is probably a no, right? Elizabeth, do you want to go to the Texas A&M game this weekend? No. Elizabeth, do you want to go to the movies? No. Elizabeth, do you want to play tennis? No. The result of saying yes is you're taking a bigger chance of going to the firing squad. Same thing for your goals. How important are your goals where everything somewhat becomes a no? And that your goals are that serious. That's what we're trying to get at here. There's kind of two ways. There's two camps on goal setting. There are people that say, let's set the biggest, hairiest goal you can set. That's unrealistic. And even if I don't hit that goal, I'm going to do pretty well. The other camp basically says, let's set a realistic goal that's based on numbers that are achievable, that we've talked through. We have a game plan that's achievable. And that's our plan that way. I'm definitely in the second camp. I think that hitting goals is a mindset. It's that you're winning at a game. And I think when you set crazy big goals that day one, January 10th, you can't hit, and you are behind your goal and you will never catch up. You're mentally always every day telling yourself you're a loser. So I like having goals that are achievable. We've agreed with my plan this year, they're achievable. We're always equal to ahead of our goals as the year goes on. I definitely believe in having a goal that's really based on fact and what we're doing. So one year in real estate is a very long time. And I think most people, when they set goals, don't really take that into account. I mean, a year goal that you're going to keep that goal and keep that in front of you every year, and it's that important to achieve to you, almost like wrongly accused of murder, that you have to do this, whatever your big why as to why you're doing this. So we really need to prepare for a long race. Okay, we need to think through everything that's going to happen during this year to actually achieve our goals. So when it's 100 degrees in July and you need to go out and look at property before an out-of-town client, a big client coming in that's going to buy multi-million, and again, obviously we have computers and we have internet and we can look at pictures online, but a lot of times the best preview or the best preparation for our client, especially buyer, would be getting out and going to the properties so we can see. We can't on our computers hear a barking dog next door, or we can't see that somebody has an RV parked next, in their driveway, and we get to know the route better. So preparation would be good. So it's 100 degrees July. We don't want to do that. It's air conditioned time. We're run down already from the year. What keeps us going? What keeps us? The goal comes to top of mind, like, oh yes, why am I going to preview these to prepare for this person tomorrow? Because my goal is this. I am equal to behind in my goal. I need to be prepared. I need to sail. And why am I doing that? Because I promised my daughter, Katie, that if she could get into Harvard, or any of my kids could get into Harvard, I would pay for that. We always need a process of thinking back that keeps us moving. Even on a 100-degree day, I'm going to go do the activity that's required. Or plenty of times we have, 99.5 temperature, 100-degree temperature, and I just want to stay home or stay in bed, or I'm just tired. What is going to keep you throughout the year moving toward those goals? And we need to do this ahead of the time, prior to the year even starting, before we do this. We need to be aware of all the things that are going to happen along this 1 year race. There was a guy, I can't remember his name, some of you might know, but he actually ran like 50 ultra triathlons in 50 states in 50 days. I heard this guy talk, and he
Iron Cowboy.
what's that?
Iron Cowboy.
That's exactly right. And I can't remember his real name, but he was quite interesting. But he understood this, what I'm saying. He actually knew that there, you know, come day 4 or come day 7, there were going to be things in his mind that were going to tell him to quit or to stop. It could be that, you know, doing an ultra Ironman every day. He's preparing for the fatigue that would be building every day. He prepared for all the possible incidents that he could have, and he had to have all these things prepared where when that happened, he could convince his mind to keep going. The story I'm talking about, like on day 8 or day 9, he actually like had a bad wreck. Like he actually went over the handlebars, skinned everything up, half broke stuff. And most people would have said, okay, good try, nice try, I'm done. But he was prepared for that. He had a bag that he carried, like a leather bag on his waist, and it had 50 different pieces of paper that he was prepared. He already knew this was going to happen. And he would pull out one every day to keep him going. Well, the one he pulled out that day was actually he had a bunch of children, but a daughter who was about 10 that totally believed in this guy. And he promised her he would achieve this goal of 50 Ironmans in 50 days. And so he actually pulled out the piece of paper that said, I promised Katie that I would achieve this. That's what he read that day. And I mean, even though his bike, you know, is beat up and they had to repair that, and he's beat up and skinned up, he actually got back on the bike that day. And that's what we kind of need to do in our preparation for the following year, is be prepared. I mean, this isn't a straight line race. I mean, things are going to happen. You know, what happens on the day where I had 3 deals and they all of a sudden went south? You know, what's going to keep me moving, get me back on the bike the next day? This is all part of being prepared in this goal setting. There's a lot to do. So why 3 months ahead of time? Well, here's what I would advise you to do. And I did it always myself as a team leader. So I start in October. Obviously, it's November now, but it's not too late. First of all, you need to decide what you want to make next year, whether it's commission or I like commission best. That's at the end of the day, that's what motivates us. Number of deals or volume's cool, but at the end of the day, we're in this for the commission. So I would come up with a commission goal. And I'm a visual guy. I like having things in front of me where I can see them at all times. So actually, 5 years ago, I actually, that paint that you can paint your walls and write on them in my team leader office. I mean, it's ridiculously expensive. It's like $500 a gallon, but I had the whole wall painted where I could write on it. And so that was every day I need to be looking at this. I don't want to miss a day. What's horrible in kind of the goal setting game is what drives me nuts is when I've gone maybe a day or a week, or sometimes you see I'll have agents gone a day or week or month, and it's like, what happened? What happened, Amy? What happened to your goals? Well, you have to almost see these daily. You have to keep them in front of you because this is a tough race to be inspired. So, you know, it used to drive me nuts myself or other agents. It's like, what just happened? It's the end of the week and I have really done nothing toward my goals. What just happened? How can that happen? So we need to know all these things and find ways to beat that. So the first in October, basically start putting ideas down. So let's just go with the example. You made 250, you want to go to 250 and 250K in commission in 2023, and you want to go to 400, which is a big jump. I mean, that first of all, we're gonna talk that through for a long time. If you're saying you're going from 250 to 300, probably more doable from my experience, but 400 is not impossible, but you're going to have to convince me of a lot of new stuff you're doing that's going to cause that business. So I begin to put things up on my wall that are new ideas because we have to do something different. I'm not going to just pick it that first day and be done. I need 3 months to do this. And I'm going to start writing ideas. And these are mostly lead gen ideas, but we're considering doing this. We're like Levi, if you've heard him recently, we're going to start doing YouTube channels, or we're going to begin to social network in these areas we didn't before, or we're actually going to start, doing major open houses like some people do, or we're going to start farming all these areas, we need to start putting them up that we would add to our business next year. I'm a big believer, I'm just one guy, but there's 40 known ways to sell real estate. But the furthest and the fastest and the lowest hanging fruit is definitely working a database of people that know you, like you, trust you. I know plenty of people do other things, and there's $1 million ideas in other things, but for me, that's always worked. Someone say something? Anyway, I'm from Atlanta. I know a lot of people here, so that's what's worked for me. But for most people, I would recommend everyone work a database. And then after that, pick 2 or 3 things that work the best next. I think people that try 5, 10, 15 things, you're going to do all of them poorly. So again, I'm trying to come up with this idea for next year. So it's on the wall, and I'm looking at it every day. And the reason I put it up and think about it is because I really need to think through what it means to accept that as a new form of business that I'm going to attempt next year. So what's required to do it? Obviously, people and money and systems to do that. But the biggest thing is time. Okay, so we need to be realistic and think through, how much time is this going to take, and do we have the time to do that? And we need to weigh that with a bunch of things, but really your own personal life and your family. And again, it could be all ideas are great, but many have to be said no to, because if you think about it, I don't have time to do this. Or, physically, I have physical problems that next year to take that on would not be possible. Or my family member, my wife is sick. She's going to require more care next year. It's not right or wrong, good or bad, that if you say no to that, we just need to be realistic in picking these goals that we, at the end, once we decide, we can achieve. We have to weigh it against our life, and the time and the money and the people involved. So I want a lot of time to do that. I really want an entire month to be looking at these every day on my wall and just thinking about them and going, can you achieve this? Because once you've actually thought it through and you've wrestled with yourself for 2 months about these goals, if you say, yes, I'm going to do this, the odds of you actually doing it are much greater, because you've given it that much thought. So I like having it up there for that amount of time, thinking every day. And then come maybe December, I'm getting closer to deciding what I do truly have time for and how important this goal is, where come mid-December, we actually finally decide, this is what I'm going to do. You know what? I can do this. I have the time, I have the energy, I have the money. I'm going to go for it. Or, now that I think about it, there's certain things. We have a situation in my life where I'm going to have to attend to that. So maybe picking the same number last year is more realistic and achievable. What we're trying to do is pick achievable goals. So I like having the 3 months. You still have time right now if you do it. And then come, December, we finally decide, we put them on paper. This is what I'm doing. This is my goal. This is how I'm going to achieve it. We didn't do this last year. We need to implement this year. That will add, in our opinion, will add the business and the volume and the numbers to achieve these goals. And what I would recommend is I think a lot of one reason people fall behind in their goals or don't achieve their goals is they're not visible enough. I like having my goals everywhere, everywhere. So they're on my refrigerator. It drives me nuts to have gone a day or a week and it's like, what just happened? I mean, what just happened this past week was nothing toward your goal. Brad, let's revisit. Do you really want to achieve these goals? Yes, you do. It's very important to me that I promised Katie she could go to Harvard if she got in. I want to be able to do that. That's a big number. Okay, if it hadn't changed, we need to get back on the goals and the activities that cause that. So I have it everywhere. I have it on my refrigerator. I have it on my screensaver. I have it actually on my bathroom mirror. I mean, actually, I might get my wife's lipstick and write those. They're there the whole year. Okay, they're on. I see them everywhere. I can't go too many places and forget about my goals. That's the key. Is we need to not forget about them. Right now, let me see how much time I have. Touches, I would highly recommend. Well, let's stick with these. So everyone has different goals and ways to achieve them. For me, it's easier if you can actually break it down into smaller pieces that you understand what you're trying to do every day, every week, every month. For me, if I were to put my goals up there, it would probably be I would have the GCI number I wanted, but most years it doesn't change for me. I always put up these numbers, which is 2, 8, 10, 4, and 50. And those are everywhere I go. I don't forget those. So what do those mean? I've always told agents all these years. Now this isn't a big agent, but for most agents, you are going to have an incredibly successful career if you have 2 face-to-face meetings every week with someone you're not currently working with. And if you make that a goal and it's non-negotiable, you can't miss that. So my lead gen, actually, I know my lead gen volume is right when I'm achieving two meetings a week face-to-face. I'm about, again, there's plenty of people that do business different ways. They do it. They're never face-to-face. They're on the internet. That's fine. That's different for you. But I think most people, if you talk to most agents, most things happen face-to-face, plain and simple. So I want 2 meetings a week for a larger agent with a team. That number might be 3, 4, or 5. But that is what all my numbers work if I hit that number. And I promise you, at whatever level you are in this business, especially newer to first years in the business, if you get 2 face-to-face meetings a week with someone you're not working with, you are going to have an amazing career. I mean, I can't remember. I'm sure I told you that, Elizabeth, when we started out, but it's that simple. I like simple numbers that I know what I have to do to achieve. 8, the number 8. Again, we've heard all these things, grow this giant database, but I've seen agents over the years that, they say they added 300 or 500 people in their database this year, but the truth is they're just names, okay? There is no relationship there. And business happens, at least when you work in a database, when there's relationship. So I think realistically, I want a number of people I need to add to my database every month, because we know that there's no more cost or time to whether you're touching 200 or touching 400. It's the same amount of activity online. So real people that know me, like me, trust me. I'd rather have 8 people that know me, like me, trust me way more than going to an event where I handed out all these cards and got all these cards and they wouldn't even know my name the next day. So that was always my goal. 8 real people. I'm just not going to say, hey, Brad Feiman, EXP, good to meet you. I mean, if I'm at a party, New Year's Day party for football, I'm going to find someone I don't know. I like to talk 30 minutes to them. And I'd rather talk to 4 people 30 minutes than talk to everybody there because no one's going to know me. So if I add 8 a month, basically 100 a year, in every year, it's just multiplying. They're already in my database. To me, that's a goal that's really going to change your trajectory and career because these are real people that really know you now, and you know them. You know what they like and don't like, and that's a big part of my touching. I'm a huge texter. I text 50 a day. That's really my lead gen. I text 50 people every day. And it's not the same text to everyone. It's all different, but I know them. Okay. So I know Elizabeth likes Texas A&M football. Most weekends, you'll admit, I text you something about the game. Okay. Thank you very much, Brad. You're not texting me about cats. I don't even have a cat. I like Texas A&M football. I'm going to respond. We go back and forth all day. So if I'm sending foodies things about food or a plate at a great restaurant, that's what they like. And I'm sending this guy a picture of a trout, that they're a trout fisherman. This guy's football, this guy's baseball, this person's flowers, this person's food. We really have a connection. Thank you very much, Brad. You know me. That's the key to all of this is just, we have to be great agents, but we have to be given the chance, and we're given the chance to perform when we have relationship and we have back and forth. These guys right here, all fantastic at that. Flax Underwood, John Damiano, unbelievable. They just work a database. They know everybody. Okay, the next number 10, it could be low right now, but I've always told people you left tons of money on the table if you don't receive $10,000 a year in referrals. It's just not that hard if you're paying attention, and especially in this company. At any party, and we're coming up on the ultimate season now. Holiday parties is the ultimate opportunity. You're at a holiday party. Hey, Brad, gosh, you're great. Wish you lived in Cleveland, Ohio. We're moving to Cleveland. And if you have this top of mind, it really has to come out fast. But oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. Well, realize that I'm a relocation expert. I can find you the best agent in Cleveland, Ohio, very quickly. Would that be a benefit to you? Okay, boom, yes. And I do that. I actually make the effort. It takes 10 or 20 minutes of effort, but I'm going to find out 5 top agents in Cleveland. I'm not going to give them all 5. I'm going to call them myself. I'm going to determine who I think is the best, being in real estate all these years, and I'm going to give them that name. 10,000 should be a piece of cake as far as make it, but everyone should make 10,000 a year minimum in referrals. And think about that. That's a killer trip for anyone in their family. That should be free every year to you. Number 4 for me is significant because I've always played the at Keller. I played the profit share game. At EXP, I love the rev share, and it's very important. I think it's for all of us to build passive income that's going to change your life is huge. So that from day one, I was in this game. That was 4 was the most important of all these numbers, which I'm going to have 4 lunches a month, 4 minimum, with somebody not currently with my company. And I'm going to spend up to $20, a very, nice restaurant, nice sandwich or salad for $20, but I'm just going to tell them what I know about the company. And that's always worked for me. But I never missed that. All these years, I never missed that number. I'm aware of where I am in the month on that number. So if it's, you know, if it's the 20th and for some reason I've been super busy in real estate, I've only had, you know, one lunch, I will get those 3 lunches, and that really works, plain and simple. And the last for me is 50, which is 50 texts a day. And I never miss that either. So first thing I do in the morning, it's by first name. Again, it's totally to what is important to that person. I'm very aware. Actually, like my database is broken into distribution lists. So you're tagged by all these things that you are. Like I said, if you're Falcon football, if you're Georgia football, if you're Texas A&M football, if you're cats, dogs, foodie, flowers, Clax and I, we're clouds. We actually text each other clouds at least twice a week. We're cloud connoisseurs. So again, if you're hitting that person with the things that are pertinent to them, you're always going to have a relationship. You're always going to have a response back. And that's what I'm looking for. I just want to be in relationship because I want to be top of mind when real estate comes up. Yes, you have to perform in a big way. You have to be an expert in the business once you be given the chance, but I want to be given more at bats. I want more chances to work with them. So that's all I need as far as all those places: refrigerator, screensaver, bathroom mirror, those numbers 8, 2, 8, 10, 5, 50. That I never want to miss those numbers or forget about those numbers. I can't go anywhere. I can't turn anywhere in my house or office without seeing those numbers. I would advise you right now that probably the key time of year is coming up soon. We are about to hit the time of the biggest pent-up demand in all of the year in real estate, which is right after the first of the year. So what is occurring right now, people, you might have seen it in your business. Obviously, we have a very bizarre market with the rates, but a lot of people any year, come September, as you get to October, November, December, a lot of people have decided they want to buy a house, but they're going to mentally go, it's getting too close to the holidays, so I will make a New Year's resolution to buy in January. A lot of people do that, and definitely the biggest time a buyer coming out of just hiding will be right after the first of the year, where they have made a New Year's resolution to buy in the new year. So we need to be in front of that demand. And so what I would recommend to any of you is do 4 touches between let's say December 15th and January 10th. You need to have 4 touches to all your people, your entire database. And if possible, mix those up as far as like, so, you know, 1 text, 1 could be 1 mailing, 1 could be Facebook or social network, and actually maybe even 1 gift. 4 times I want, in that short a period of time, we want to be top of mind. So for me, this has always been very simple. I know these far ahead of when they occur. So for me, I've given out their Hubs peanuts, their Virginia peanuts, best anyone will ever find, a tin about this big. I deliver those to all past clients in December, and people love those. So I do that. My Christmas card list, I share my family. You know, we've always made an effort to have a Christmas card that is unusual and different, and people pick it as their favorite. We put a lot of time into that. That goes out obviously mid-December. That list is probably 900 or 1,000 people now, Christmas card. Then a great New Year's text would be good. Not just, hey, Happy New Year, but something significant that you've written. That just, I mean, a short paragraph, but just something that would inspire them in the new year. And fourth could be either Thanksgiving is another great text, or it could be maybe the top 125 on my database I'm going to call between those timeframes, December 20th and January 10th. So do not miss that. I mean, literally, the busiest month. My first 14 years in the business, 13 of those years, my number one month of putting things under contract was February. 13 of 14 years, and it's because I was out in front of all this demand. We started looking in January, put things under contract in February. Don't miss that. I mean, write that down right now as something you will do without a doubt. Well, let me say this too. Let me go back to setting your goals. So a lot of times people, all they do is set the what, which is, I want to make 400,000. And the odds of you making it are probably pretty slim if that's all you're going to do. We really need to get into the why you're going to do it, because again, I'm going to ask you that question in our meeting. And if your reason is not that significant, you're probably not going to make it. I mean, we've heard in everywhere we turn, we hear about your big why. Okay. And it is kind of important. What drives you every day? What gets you up every day? I mean, Elizabeth, was running three of the regional meetings, I think in Philly and I can't remember the other two, Detroit and somewhere else. Yeah.
I wasn't running them. I was just showing up and speaking.
Yeah, you were showing up as a speaker, but what after all you've achieved, what is driving you to do that? There's got to be something. If we were to, actually get you, and analyze you, there's something still driving you that you want, that you see doing those will cause this goal you want. I mean, there's just no way that someone would put in this effort like you do. Or why does Elizabeth, still most influential person in the company, I ask her this all the time, like Elizabeth still sells real estate. I mean, it's nutty. I mean, your rev share is a major number. And why are you still selling? Well, here's the reason. She actually, again, I knew this from day one, is your heart for people and you wanting to help and teach people. But you've told me that I need to be on the streets daily to be helping all these people. I can't just coach them and help them without knowing exactly what's going on the street. So even though not necessary for you to be selling real estate, you're still doing it. And there's a reason why, because you can actually help people with real live things that are happening out on the street. So again, impressive on your part, but you do have a big why. You have a huge why. And again, I think the what is important, but the how is equally important. And again, with the way I do things or meet with these agents to talk about their goals, we get more into the how. So just saying, I want to make this next year, or I want to lose this weight, it doesn't happen. We've seen it. It doesn't happen. We need to actually have a serious plan that we've thought through, really thought through, battle with ourselves to go, can I do this? Is this achievable under my current circumstance in business, in my team, in my family, and all in my life? Is this doable? I want that agreement before the year starts where there's no way to say, I quit, because we've already thought this through in a major way and we've agreed this is what I want and this is doable. I'll give you another, how much time we have, Elizabeth? Just a minute.
Yeah, we've got 7.
Here's another thing too, that will keep, again, it's a long race. It's a long race, and we have good days, bad days. We have stuff going on in our life. How do we keep the goal in mind? I've given you some ways. But another thing, some of you might remember, it's way back, but a guy named Dr. Fred. And Dr. Fred was actually a keynote speaker for me one time. And believe it or not, he looked like the Purdue Chicken Man. But Dr. Fred was a genius. And so Dr. Fred, his job, he lived somewhere abroad, like in Australia, but he coached the mega wealthy. And the issue, he wasn't coaching them to make money. They already had money. Their problem was they had forgotten how to live life. And so that's what Dr. Fred did. And so their life was unhappy because all their focus had gone all their life to making money. So Dr. Fred, it was very simple. He said, here's what you need to do. And this is what we need to do to keep our year going. We need to always, as much as possible, stay positive, upbeat. So Dr. Fred says you need to determine, he did it easy to understand, 10s, 25s, 50s, and 100s. And just imagine money denomination. So 10s are really the key. 10s are things, and you can do this in a week, you could have this. Challenge yourself to write down 100 things that make you happy, okay? And these are very simple things. Like for me, I don't know why, but just smelling coffee, making coffee in the morning makes me happy. I can name 100 songs that if I hear them, they make me happy. I built a killer shower 10 years ago. Just being in that shower makes me happy. Petting my dog makes me happy. Actually going outside, just feeling even cold, any temperature makes me happy. On and on and on, just little things that you can do in a second. These are just little things that if you're having a sinking moment or a tough day, you intentionally go do these 10s, okay? Just anytime I'm down, I'm bummed, I'm negative, go do one that makes you happy. You'll be surprised just how different your life will be, okay? And because we have to be upbeat. We have to be upbeat in this business. Our clients have to see us as upbeat and positive. The 25s are things that you're not going to do every day. They're probably, you will do every week to 2 weeks, but they give you great joy. So for me, playing golf, trout fishing, if I did that every day, they wouldn't be that significant. I think juxtaposed with working, they're amazing, but if I did them every day, no good. So know those things and try to do those every week or 2 weeks, 1 or 2 of those. 50s are things that would be like an amazing yearly goal. Like Elizabeth told you, she's going with her family down to Disney area and doing that. That's a 50. You're going to have 1 or 2 of those a year. And then 100s are probably a 10-year goal of, you're going to actually take 10 of your best friends on a sailing trip in the BVI, something like that. But to me, the real key is the 10, the lower 2, the things you do every day and every week to 2 weeks will keep you incredibly upbeat and moving towards your goal. Because that we have to realize this race is tough, right? And it's amazing if you follow these things, how you will see your mental mindset is much more linked to achieving these goals, because you're there, you're aware of your goals, you're in the right mind space, and your clients are seeing someone that's poised and excited about what they do. Plain and simple. We got a minute or 2. Any questions, Elizabeth?
I've got crazy construction in the background. So what questions do y'all have for Brad? Anything before we sign off? No? Y'all are awfully quiet. So
I do.
when Brad talks about this stuff, by the way, for years and years and years, I don't know how he texts everybody all the time, but he's very deliberate and intentional and earns the relationship. So it's not rocket science. It's just consistency. Shannon, what were you going to say? So I'm a brand new agent. So I don't have goals from last year to base my my goal setting on. What kind of recommendations would you give to a brand new agent for goals?
Good question. Again, everyone was in that position at some point, but yeah, I would just go. I'd welcome if you want to call me and I'll do this on the phone with you if you want. But yeah, I would start with goals that you think from talking to people around you, or what you would like to make. I mean, if your first year and you tell me, Brad, I want to make 600,000, I'm probably gonna go, well, that's great, but let's talk through that. I mean, I'm not saying no, but at this point, you're gonna have to do a lot of convincing to tell me as a new agent why you're gonna make 600,000. I mean,
I would absolutely love that, but it doesn't seem realistic.
well, I mean, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I mean, look at Levi, he made $1 million his first year. So there's some people, by what they tell you, or their past business life, or they have superhuman tech skills, I would go, I think you can make that, but I'd have to hear your whole story, what you where you came from business wise. Really, the size of your database is a huge thing. If there's some people that they know everybody, so even new in the business, but where are you from?
I'm in Austin.
Okay, so if I had said, in the 9-county Austin area, how many people, if you walk down the street, would say hello to you by name and you to them by name? Is that 50, 100, 200, 500,000 people? If you said 50, making 600 the first year is probably difficult unless you tell me something else amazing. If you tell me 1,000, there's possibilities.
Okay.
But I think you have to start somewhere. You have to pick a number. It's not necessarily, we want to base it in realism, but we also want it realistic, but just over the line of pushing that you're making a big effort. And I need to know why. Why is that important to you? If some people just go, hey, I just want to make 100,000. Well, you're probably not going to make it.
So you would recommend that I set a goal for a dollar amount rather than for goal task based goals?
Well, it depends on how you're wired. I think most people at the end of the day, even the task or the number of deals of the GCI, you've always equated it back to money. That's why you got in the business, is making the money. And truly realize that you're in a business that you can make 6 figures a year. I mean, that's what's amazing about real estate. Excuse me, 7 figures. It's a 7-figure business that anyone can make. So, but you have to, it doesn't happen by accident. You have to have major focus and major plans of how you do that.
I got my license because
I'm not saying if tasks work for you, but even if you say I want to do 6 deals and your average commission is $10,000, you've already worked backwards to go, I really want to make 60. I don't think most people would set a goal, I want to do 6 deals and have no clue what it makes. And once they figure it out, like, well, that number doesn't even pay my bills. And so I think it's always the other way around, the GCI number, and then you figure out how many deals that's going to equate to. I like having both goals, but I think it's always the GCI number and knowing my average GCI that works back into the number of deals.
I got into the business because my husband owns a residential construction company.
Well, there you go. So
I've got some built-in clients already.
That's fantastic. So just knowing that, I don't know what number you'd say you want to make this year, but I might bump you up once I ask you questions about, like, how many homes does he build? How many people come in there that, let's say don't have clients? Your number could be quite large for a first-time agent. And there's plenty of people. I mean, it's not on every street corner, but there are people that have massive first years. I mean, Levi's an example. I mean, that's just crazy. That just had, he has superhuman skills. So I just have to hear your story.
And Shannon, just plug in and show up to all the stuff we're doing. The fact that you're showing up on the Friday calls, the fact that you're showing up with all the things that we're doing, you're going to figure out what makes sense for your business and what makes sense for your goals. So I love that you're here.
Yeah, I'll echo that with Elizabeth. Again, we don't want to reinvent the wheel if we don't have to. So a lot of people that Elizabeth has talks every Friday, allow you not to do that. These are people that have years of experience that you don't have to go through all those years to figure this out. They're telling you. The gal you had a couple weeks ago about the systems. I mean, just unbelievable. Again, it's all about systems. It's all truly about having killer systems, and she was right on the money with that.
Well, this was awesome as always, Brad. I'm going to have you come back because there's always so much stuff that you share and you pour into us. We're over time a little bit, y'all. Thank you all for being here and plugging in. You know, a lot of people are just kind of, I've heard some people say they're limping to the finish line for the end of the year. And really, I want y'all to take the opportunity to finish strong, right? And whatever that looks like. So next week, take the time off with your family, plug in, be present with your family. We're not going to have a call next Friday. But I'll be excited to see you guys coming back, reinvigorated, ready to go and finish out the year strong. So thanks y'all for being here. Reach out if you need anything from me, and we will talk soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Brad, thank you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.